Somebody said,
Kobe Bryant.
somebody said if you don't like playing with LeBron, you wouldn't like playing with Kobe. Bro, you guys got to stop these narratives, man. It's not that I didn't like playing with Bron, you guys. And, I don't want to go into detail about it. Some of y'all comments just be so asinine. Bro, like when I was in Cleveland and I was a young player, I had no idea Bron was going to come back.
Haters chirped, trolls typed, and the media echoed the same tired line for years. If you can't handle playing with LeBron James, you would absolutely hate playing with Kobe Bryant. Fam, you folks must quit these toxic narratives, seriously. It isn't that I hated balling with LeBron, you guys. But some of y'all takes just be so moronic. That was the vibe when Kyrie Irving finally shattered the silence, and let me tell you, the whole basketball internet is currently melting down. Why? Because he dropped a nuclear bomb. When I'm done playing, you guys will hear the ugly truth. Trust me, he wasn't just tossing dirt for clout, he was promising a reveal that could flip the entire LeBron James narrative on its head. This is the same guy who hit the shot that kept LeBron's legacy alive, and now he's hinting he might rewrite the dark story behind it. And don't get it twisted, this wasn't a slip-up. Kyrie said it live on stream, staring straight into the camera like he was ready to scorch the entire NBA timeline. He essentially told the globe that everything fans think they know about that Cleveland era is scripted, filtered, and managed. Let's jump to the part nobody wants to bring up, the chapter that usually gets glossed over in the history books. Kyrie Irving confessing that he actually wanted to pick his franchise when he was drafted. That is wild because it means the number 1 pick in 2011 did not want Cleveland from day one. He craved to grow around players he admired, build chemistry with hoopers he vibed with, not get dumped onto a rebuilding team that was still dealing with the emotional fallout from LeBron James leaving the first time. The way Kyrie put it, he would have loved to choose his destiny, to develop next to his favorite people. But instead, he got stuck in a situation where he picked up toxic habits during those early losing years. Habits he didn't want. Playing hero ball just to keep the squad afloat. Trying to bucket every possession because the roster couldn't win otherwise. He claimed he was just starting to clean that up, finally learning how to run a team the right way, ready to level up and become a true floor general. And that's when LeBron came back. Boom. Storyline flipped, growth interrupted, whole trajectory changed, and that moment set the stage for everything that followed. Now, picture this timing for a second. LeBron returns to Cleveland in 2014, right when Kyrie is stepping into year 4, the exact moment a young guard usually takes the leap into true superstardom. Instead of taking over the franchise, Kyrie suddenly gets shoved into a supporting role on a team that instantly becomes LeBron's show. That pivot stings differently when you're finally hitting your stride. Kyrie even spilled a quote most fans snoozed on. When you are balling with somebody like LeBron, it is a different beast. It is a different ride. That wasn't praise, fam. That was a caution. Since being on LeBron's squad doesn't just boost expectations, it warps them. You're demanded to be elite, not because you earned it on your own track, but because you're riding passenger next to the sport's brightest spotlight. And that is precisely where stuff starts getting ugly. Since LeBron didn't run to Cleveland just to make a local fairy tale come alive, he needed Kyrie's deep bag to repair his image after Miami. The issue? Kyrie's personal growth became collateral wreckage, and nobody saw how dark the plot got. This leads us to the Pat Riley factor, the secret detail that twists this entire saga. Kyrie talked about his bad habits from the early Cleveland years, but then he pointed at something that totally alters how fans view the king. He highlighted the massive gap between Miami LeBron and Cleveland LeBron, and that contrast is brutal. Look back to LeBron's first Cleveland stint. Prancing on the benches, crazy antics, weak composure, dramatic feelings spilling all over the court. He was gifted, yes, but he didn't own that stoic, heavy aura of a true boss yet. Then he joined Miami and everything shifted. Pat Riley's culture reprogrammed him. Discipline, responsibility, steadiness, all of it. LeBron learned how to train, how to focus, how to handle huge pressure without losing it. That was the most robotic version of him we ever viewed. The version forged inside a culture that required excellence every single game. No more drama, no more mental collapses, just locked-in dominance. Down in Miami, LeBron's leadership felt real and valid. But Kyrie just yanked the curtain back on something fans weren't ready to face. When LeBron returned to Cleveland, he didn't just bring the strictness and grit he learned from Pat Riley. He brought the politics, too. The silent power, the behind-the-curtain strings, the story twisting that fans never spot. Kyrie flat-out claimed that hooping with LeBron meant battling with rumors getting spun and stuff occurring off-camera that the masses never view. That is a massive accusation because it suggests LeBron didn't just learn how to become a better captain in Miami. He learned how to puppet the whole story around his status. And when he came home to Cleveland, he used that exact tactic not just on the press, but on his own brothers. Pat Riley might have rebuilt LeBron's attitude, but Kyrie is and what occurred next proves exactly how ruthless that machine could be. Let's recall the instant the globe somehow erased. June 19, 2016, Game 7 of the Finals. Kyrie Irving, 24 years young, steps back for that historic three with 53 seconds left, drains one of the largest shots in the annals of basketball and breaks the Cleveland curse in real time. It's one of the coldest clutch buckets the league has ever witnessed. I only cared about his success, but we could never align, Kyrie said. But here's the bit Kyrie exposed that got fans furious. He hits that legacy-making shot, saves the entire year, flips the history discussion forever. Then he turns on the screen and all he sees on loop is, blocked by James. Over and over. No Irving for three. No love for the dagger. Just the block on repeat like Kyrie's bucket was some minor detail. That's the sort of snub that lingers with a hooper. And then came the bit that struck Kyrie like a slap to the jaw. LeBron going on TV stating, "That one right there made me the greatest player of all time." Like seriously? Your partner knocks down the championship-winning shot and instead of praising the squad or hyping up the stud who closed the show, the headline becomes your own status bump? That is insane context. Kyrie averaged 27 per game that series. He was the second greatest hooper on the floor the entire finals and he gifted the instant that every Cleveland supporter had been praying for ages. Yet somehow the entire saga got spun into LeBron's savior arc, LeBron's return, LeBron's fate. Kyrie essentially vanished from his own masterpiece. And this specific spot is where you finally grasp what Kyrie meant regarding false headlines and secret politics. Because this didn't feel like basic media slant. It felt manufactured, like a system working precisely the way it was built to. The camera shifted right back to LeBron, and Kyrie became nothing more than a supporting actor in a movie he helped direct. But the icy part? The second Kyrie rescued LeBron's reputation, things behind the curtain got even more savage. From savior to trade bait, skip to the 2017 finals. Kyrie is dropping 29 a night, bearing crazy loads, while Kevin Durant is out there smoking every battle. And the chatter around the association? Folks claiming KD worked LeBron so casually, it seemed like he was treating him like a child. KD was in total command those whole finals. Yet strangely, even with LeBron getting cooked, even with Kyrie being the lone Cavalier matching Durant bucket for bucket, all the blame for failing got dumped everywhere except on LeBron. Kyrie took shots he didn't earn, and the propaganda engine shielded LeBron like he was clad in iron. Not even a month past the series, the craziest plot shift struck. Kyrie Irving, the man who supplied the bucket that kept LeBron's history alive, abruptly found himself in trade talks. And this is where Kyrie's rant about behind-the-curtain politics starts appearing way too valid. LeBron's camp was already mumbling about moving on from him like he was the problem. Like the ring they seized didn't even have his DNA all over it. Stans started acting like execs, cooking up mock deals, chatting wild about who they could grab for Kyrie, as if he wasn't an all-star stud who helped bring Cleveland its first banner. It was shameful on every level. Kyrie finally hit his breaking limit and requested a move. And that is when the true hate campaign launched. Suddenly, voices were calling him envious of LeBron, claiming he wasn't built to lead, doubting his basketball IQ, even trying to cast him as someone who couldn't win without LeBron holding his hand. But here is the reality check nobody likes to admit. Kyrie became the lone icon who ever took charge of his own route while hooping next to LeBron. Every other major name either joined LeBron on his rules or quietly got shoved out when their clock was up. Think about it. Kevin Love, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade in his older days. None of them walked away by choice. Kyrie was the first one to say, "I am out," and truly mean it. And LeBron's fan army never forgave him because his exit revealed something awkward about the LeBron ecosystem. It is built so that everyone else is disposable as long as the king stays secure. Kyrie leaving shattered the mirage. What happened next showed just how far that machine could go when someone refuses to play along. The reputation destruction was vicious. What LeBron's fan cult did to Kyrie after he fled Cleveland could honestly be a full class in psychology. This wasn't standard fan trash chat. It felt like a strategic hit job across every channel. They targeted everything they could find. His captaincy in Boston when the junior players didn't gel with him. His injuries acting like he chose to sit out. Even his vibes, calling him odd or tricky just to tear him down. It was like the second Kyrie stepped away, folks ceased talking about basketball and started trying to delete everything he achieved. They warped every common basketball hurdle into proof that Kyrie couldn't glow without LeBron. Like every missed match or rough slump was some huge validation of their agenda. But matters reached their absolute ceiling during the lockdown. That is when the responses around Kyrie got totally out of hand. Crowds came after him with a level of fury that didn't even seem like basketball anymore. He opted not to take the medical shot and instantly became one of the most hunted players in the association. Mobs were dubbing him greedy, reckless, tagging him with every slur they could conceive of. People even needed him barred from hooping. It got toxic fast. And the wildest part, a lot of the rage had nothing to do with the issue itself. It was fans acting like Kyrie's private choice was a direct assault on their favorite star's legacy. That type of fixation is absurd. But here is the detail that truly reveals the machine Kyrie was speaking about. While every section of the web was trying to rip him apart, where was LeBron? Where was the fraternity people love to glamorize? No protecting Kyrie, no open backing, zero. Just complete quiet while his fan militia did all the assaulting for him. That is the precise behind-the-curtain politics Kyrie was pointing at. LeBron doesn't need to speak anything himself. His fan base executes the whole scheme for him while he stays out of the dirt. But gaze at Kyrie now. The return saga is actually the toughest chapter of his life. He is a winner in Dallas, a valued veteran, and playing some of the most clinical basketball he has ever created next to Luka Doncic. And more than anything, you can see he has found true calm. Not the false media version, but the true, I know who I am now, type of spirit. And here is the maddest signal of how far he has grown. Luka Doncic ended up getting dealt before Kyrie did. Let that settle in. The same dude critics vowed was impossible to plan around, too erratic, too wild to be a franchise pillar, outlasted a generational wizard in Dallas because of how solid and consistent he became behind the curtains. Kyrie molded himself into one of the most valued vets in the locker room, and that speaks everything about his rise. Even after Luka got shipped to the Lakers, in this hypothetical narrative twist, Kyrie's swagger didn't tremble for an instant. But here is the section that has LeBron stan stressing. Kyrie wasn't done speaking on that feed. He dropped a pledge with the sort of mood that makes folks sit up erect. When I am done balling, you guys will hear the true tale. Trust me. And he said it like a guy who has been waiting ages to finally release everything he has been keeping back. This isn't some random vent. This is a baller who has survived through the stress, the spin, and the rumors that got constructed around him without his say. Kyrie observed the media remold the Cleveland age into something that hardly involved him, watched folks assault his integrity for exiting, and sat through ages of fans warping every second into a LeBron reel. Now he is stating he will speak when he is loose from deals, locker room drama, and league sound. That is a caution, not a joke. Then Kyrie dropped another phrase that sliced deep. No one could ever survive in the shoes. No one could ever have anything valid to say about what they would have done in my spot. That wasn't anger. That was someone who has viewed stuff the masses never hear. Someone who owns facts that could tip the entire script on its face. And the mode he said it with that grit, that I am not afraid anymore aura, you can see he is not plotting to remain quiet much further. The true doubt now isn't if Kyrie will speak, it's whether LeBron's fame can persist when he finally puts everything out. Because Kyrie's viral remarks weren't just venting about his nightmare next to LeBron. They were the first blast of what looks like a much larger saga coming down the pipe. For decades, the machine around LeBron has run fluid, commanding the news, molding the tales, shoving the fault onto peers when stuff goes south, and letting rabid stands swarm anyone who questions the plot line. It's been refined, exact, and mighty. But Kyrie's vow splits that guard, and once he starts chatting, the whole basketball globe is going to be tuning. The watch is formally running now. Kyrie claimed he'll open up once he quits, and that's only a few seasons away. The reality slaps way heavier when it stems from the soul who survived through the whole ordeal. If this breakdown opened your eyes to what truly went down between two of the most chatted about partners in NBA history, make sure you smash that subscribe button. More heavy dives are dropping, and trust me, the rawest tales in basketball often come from the ballers who outlasted the storm.